Hey everybody, this is a response to a Big Think video titled, Hey Bill Nye, How Are Ethics and Morals Related to Science? Which was posted quite a while ago, but here is my response.
Bill Nye, I love your work. My name is Charlie, and my question today is associated with you as a scientist and how you've evolved over time to deal with both science itself and the ethics and morals associated with science. So I'll start off with this quote. So science can tell you how to clone a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Humanities can tell you why this might be a bad idea. So my question today is whether or not you prefer to deal with the morals and ethics associated with scientific concepts, or the exploration and explanation of the concepts themselves, and which one engages you to a greater extent?
Charlie, this is a great question. But in mathematics, you may have run across the word integer, and you may know the word integral, and you may know the word integral. It's integral to my outlook or whatever. What we want is for everybody to be a complete person with a complete point of view, a complete understanding of the process of science which enables humankind to know nature, but also to have an appreciation for what it means to be a member of the tribe, to be a human, to be living here on Earth with other humans and other species. So we want you to have both an appreciation for the process of science and an appreciation for ethics, or what seems to be the best way to live, the best way to conduct yourself on Earth, and especially in the human tribe.
It's definitely intelligent to have an appreciation, but you could just say respect for the process of science, but an appreciation for especially being a part in the human tribe. There could definitely be a better substitution for that part, namely having a basic level of respect for the entire game or the entire maze or this entire context that we are a part of. We being the human species, but this is just amongst other species of sentient life. That should be the emphasis, and that should be where the respect should be had. The acknowledgement of the indescribable depth and significance of the collective sentient experience and condition. This includes the present reality as well as the millions and millions of years of history in which sentience has been present on this planet. Now, he didn't only mention the appreciation aspect, but also, as far as ethics goes, the idea of the best way to conduct yourself. And that's where he stated the bit of the best way to conduct yourself on this planet, and especially in the human tribe. And you can build meaningfully on top of that sort of expression, because there are certain dynamics, for example, that you have to take into account as far as going from the understanding of what ultimately has to be accomplished, and then, practically speaking, what you need to take into consideration doing that from within the human tribe, so to speak.
So with that said, when it comes to ethics, I always, pretty much always, hearken to evolution. And here's the extraordinary claim, and you can evaluate this, Charlie, that not only is our size and shape, the number of fingers we have, our eye color, hair color, skin color associated with our ancestors and the genes that were passed to us through the process of evolution, but furthermore, what we feel is a result of evolution. Our ancestors, who were antisocial jerks, got pushed aside by the ones that were perhaps more social and less jerky. However, you don't want to be meek. You want to have the right level of aggression and the right level of accommodation with your fellow creatures. And when it comes to ethics, when you look at whatever scheme you feel is most reasonable to pass your genes on into the future, that usually leads to what we all consider ethical behavior. And the classic example, and this is not my fault, don't come running to me, Charlie, okay? This is a thought experiment, Charlie, okay? Don't bust my chops. It's not a real thing. The house is on fire. You have a chance to either save your son or your grandson. By the rules of this thought experiment, you can't save both. You can't say, well, I find a fire hose and I call in the Terminator and he can walk through fire. No, you cannot. No. You pick your grandson. You will always pick the grandson. You will feel that because that passes the genes farther into the future. If you're a guy, if you're a woman, you'll pick whichever offspring is farthest in the future. It's the same thing. So when it comes to how you should treat other people who are not part of your family, everybody who's a human is somehow related. If you go far enough back, everybody is related, troubling as that may seem. And so this old thing expressed as the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If you can do that, Charlie, I think you will get through life as well or better than anyone. Carry on.
So as far as the statement that what we feel is a result of evolution, that is not a complete encapsulation of the truth. What we tend to feel is largely a result of evolution, but besides the fact that there are other factors involved in that, it's also just true that what we feel oftentimes has to do with associations that we have psychologically connected to cognitive understanding of different things, which, depending on what that might be, can be in relative opposition to what would be the normally evolved tendencies. And as far as what leads to the temporary perpetuation and, well, survival of our species has to do with ethics, that's totally incorrect. Ethics is about optimizing the collective quality of sentient existence, whereas things that maximize probability of the human species successfully reproducing into the future has no essential connection to that whatsoever. Our evolved feelings about what is right are simply unintelligent programming, which only function to fulfill a very narrow, arbitrary, and in fact, ethically speaking, destructive end, which is continuation of an imperfect condition, namely that of sentient existence, particularly in this subset of sentient life known as the human species. Lastly, at the end, I'm glad that he did mention the golden rule. It is one of those rare pieces of common sense, within the domain of ethics at least, that makes some sense, but, and this has been around for a very, very long time as well, the negative version, so to speak, of that principle, which is instead of do unto others as you would have them do unto you, the flip of that is do not do unto others what you would not have them do unto you. Something along those lines. And that actually, once you understand that imposing suffering is the imperative thing to prevent, that actually is more apt as a slightly oversimplified but coherent representation of a very fundamental ethical concept.